This episode of Sideline Warning is brought to you by Roost Sport, makers of the original magnetic running pouch. Whether you're biking, running, hiking, or even traveling, the Roost Sport clips to your waistband with magnets for an easy, convenient way to carry what you need without the bulk of belts or bags. Visit theroostsport.com and use the code SIDELINE30, all lowercase, for 30% off their entire product line. Again, that's theroostsport.com, promo code SIDELINE30. And now on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sideline Warning, the show where sports takes are sure to go way too far into the field. Here to recap this week's biggest and best sports stories are your hosts, Dave Adams, Ben Foster, and Adam Russell.
Welcome into Sideline Warning episode 50, everybody. This is the golden voice of the Southeast, the one, the only, Dave Adams, coming to you live and in living color from Harvest, Alabama. And as always, I have brought my friends along. Coming to you all the way from Birmingham, Alabama, Hollywood, Ben Foster. Hello, Ben.
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
It's going well. I sat down in my grandmother's seats this weekend, and I was expecting to see you because that's where your normal seats are. But you didn't sit near me.
I was hanging out in the upper deck for the football game this time. I was, which was great because I had a great view of the paratroopers that came in, the Green Berets. That was pretty cool.
I was getting a pretzel when that happened. I watched that on the TV.
The skydiving, the aerialists were really impressive. So it was a great way to start off the game.
I tell you what, though, it was really cold.
You were in the shade. I was in the sun the first half. That made a big difference. I was heated until the second half. Then it got cold.
Well, you know, I'm used to November being a little chilly in the stadium, but we straight up skipped fall and we straight up had winter on Saturday. And tell you what I want to do. I think it'd be great if I moved down to somewhere near, I don't know, the House of Mouse, Astor, Bay Lake, Bell Island, Campbell, Celebration, Yeehaw Junction, St. Cloud, kind of near where the president of the Jalen Hurts fan club lives, Adam Russell.
Wait, hang on, Dave. Wait, what did you just say?
Said you're the president of the Jalen Hurts fan club. That's your nickname.
I think we have to discuss something. Hang on, my phone's ringing. I actually think we have a call about that very topic of my nickname. So you guys mind if I break in here with a hot take from one of our listeners?
Yeah, we got a call.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Cool. All right, here we go.
Hey guys, listen to your podcast. It was a great show. A lot of interesting topics. A lot of good chatting between each other, and it's good to see different views from different points, so you're pointing in the same direction. I was calling about the nickname for Adam. Yeah, I'm not too crazy about the two he has either, but I had, milled over a few things in my mind. One of them would be something like the polymath of podcasters, but a lot of people don't know what that is, so we just get right down to it and put it like it should be. His new nickname should be Brother Adam Russell. He's a brother in Christ and a brother to you two guys, I know, coming from the university, so that's a good nickname for him, Brother Adam Russell. Can't wait to see, listen to the next podcast. Bye, guys.
I could get down with that, but
Brother Adam.
Wait, guys. Sorry, my phone's ringing again. I actually we're getting another call on this very topic.
You're popular.
The fans are responding. This is a hot topic.
Turn your phone on silent. We're recording.
No, I'm not going to, because this is important to me, Dave. I'm going to hijack the show for the next, minute and 57 seconds while we play the second voicemail that I just got right now from CJ. So here we go. Here's the second one that I just got, guys.
Okay.
Hey, guys. This is CJ. Adam, you had put out last week, you need some nickname suggestions. Man, I have to be honest with you. I like the mayor's sleepy town. Partially because I can relate. I can't tell you how many times I fall asleep putting my oldest to bed at night and wake up when it's time to go to work. It happens to me all the time, so I can relate. But I know the Jalen Hurts fan club doesn't really work because, let's face it, I'm the president of the Jalen Hurts fan club. But I don't think it was intended. Ben has Hollywood as his nickname, so I kind of think wrestling related because it's Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And something along those lines could be like AJ Styles, if you even know who that is. He is phenomenal. The phenomenal Adam Russell. I thought you might like that one. Also, the king of the dad jokes, because I get every one of them that you tell, and they're awesome. So, hey, king of the dad jokes. I also did not realize that you were a Cowboys fan. So, go Cowboys, because that's my team as well. Cowboys are America's team. You could be America's podcast host, Adam Russell. How do those sound to you? To me, I like them. Anyway, y'all were talking also last week about a trophy presentation at the end of the season for your pick'em. Dave, get online, do a GoFundMe, something. Get you a replica championship belt, and whoever wins, y'all could do your podcast with your belt over your shoulder so the other one could see that you are the champion every time you do a podcast. I could see Dave being big time on board with that one. That's all I got, gentlemen. Y'all have a good week.
Yes, CJ. Yes. I actually know where I can get a belt.
Uh-oh.
So we might have to do a belt.
Dave's going to make a stop at Men's Warehouse.
No, like a wrestling belt.
Oh,
a
wrestling.
A strap.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's going to Wrestlers R Us.
So I actually had a thought with the first caller, Adam.
Yeah.
There is a wrestler that was named Brother Love.
Okay.
So we could do Brother Adam. I like that one.
I kind of like Brother Adam.
I also like Phenomenal.
How about
the phenomenal Adam Russell? The phenomenal brother?
That could work. That we might try that on.
I like Brother because I'll get on a soapbox and start to preach like anybody else when I start to get kind of wound up.
Hold up.
Brother Phenom.
You get more wound up than I do?
All you got to do is say the words UCF or the letters UCF, and I'm off and running, man.
Do we need to rewind my my soapbox last week?
Well, that's why that we wouldn't call you brother, because you curse in yours. I don't. So mine is more like it's coming from a pulpit.
I didn't curse. I said hell.
And there you go again.
So we don't curse in Rammer Jammer. Do you?
Calling him brother
Alabama.
Calling him Brother Adam also makes me think of Brother Oliver.
Which, by the way, they actually announced Brother Oliver on the sidelines at the game this weekend. Did you catch that, Ben?
I did. I was not going and getting pretzels, if that's what you're asking.
Well, I'm sorry. I was hungry. I needed a pretzel and a Coke.
I needed some salt.
He needed a Coke and a smile.
Coke and a smile. Oh, I haven't said that much this.
Wow, that's a blast from the past. Yeah,
that is. All right. Well,
so wait. So have we found a nickname for Adam, or is it still? Or are we still thinking about it?
I think we're either going to go Phenomenal or Phenomenal Brother. I know Adam liked the America's favorite podcaster, but
I really do.
I think
America's favorite podcaster, Brother Adam Russell, just has a nice flow to it.
No, hold up. That's way too much.
Golden voice of the Southeast is an equal number of syllables, I believe.
No.
Hey, I really like where CJ's head was at by tying you back to the Cowboys. So I've actually got a cowboy-related nickname for you, Adam.
Okay,
ready?
What's that?
From now on, drum roll please, Dave. That is the worst drum roll ever. From now on, we will call Adam Jason Garrett.
Well, I don't like anything tied to the Cowboys because, like we were texting earlier today, if Urban comes over from Ohio State, I may have to denounce my fandom.
We could nickname you Urban.
Yeah, I like it.
Urban Russell.
It's been a great time, guys. I appreciate it. Too bad I couldn't make it to show 51.
Episode 50. That's where we lost him. All right, let's get into the game this weekend, guys. First off, It's no score November for Alabama. Let's talk the good before we get into the bad. Alabama's defense is finally coming into its own. And for the second straight week, I need to apologize for my lack of faith in this Alabama defense. I thought that Mississippi State was going to score 3 points. Apparently, the referees and the Alabama defense took exception to that, and they kept Mississippi State off the board. So Alabama defense finally playing good, finally playing like the defense that we expect Alabama to have.
So, Dave, did I hear you say you're wrong? You were wrong?
I was incorrect when it came to this Alabama defense.
Wrong.
He was
anyway. Wrong.
Wrong.
I mean, 125 yards, 44 rushing yards by Mississippi State. And if it hadn't have been for that long run, I guess that was the second quarter or third quarter, I can't remember which one it was, we could have been talking about negative yardage for the entire game on the ground for Mississippi State. Alabama's defense is finally starting to play like a typical Alabama defense, and we might be talking about one of the best defensive lines and defensive fronts in NCAA football right now.
And by defensive line, you really mean just Quinnen Williams. It's not that the other guys aren't contributing. It's just that Quinnen Williams is carrying the bulk of the load for that defensive line. Everyone's contributing, but it is all Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, Q is a beast. And I think I said it last week, but every year we knew who the man was going to be coming into the season. We had no idea who the man was going to be at the beginning of this season. And Quinnen Williams just came out of nowhere. He could realistically get some Heisman votes, like you said last week, Ben.
I mean, I hate to go back to that, but don't you think that's a real possibility now?
It's a possibility.
I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think he could get some. I think he'll get some votes. I don't know. If you were going to invite 4 or 5 guys to the ceremony, I'd be hard pressed to think of 4 or 5 guys ahead of him.
I can think of 3.
Granted, I'm seeing
it
right through crimson-colored glasses, but give me some names that you'd put out there for the Heisman.
Tua, guy from Oklahoma. Why can't I think of his name? Quarterback from Kyler Murray. I'd throw Will Grier in there.
Still?
Yeah, I still would. I think it's going to be those 3 being invited this year. And then I would probably throw the quarterback from Washington State in there.
Gardner Minshew. Yeah,
Gardner Minshew, who could have been playing at Alabama this year, but he probably chose the better of the 2 places. I think those are your top 4 right now.
I'm looking at an article from The Athletic, which is behind a paywall, but I think it's okay for me to talk about this. They've got their straw poll where they discuss who could be in the running for the Heisman, and they kind of vote on it. Tua is, of course, running away with it, followed by Kyler Murray, Will Grier. These are not like insights into the actual voting. This is just what the writers are thinking at The Athletic. Will Grier, Gardner Minshew is your 4th. Quinnen Williams is your 5th guy there, followed by Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State and Darrell Henderson at Memphis.
Hey, where any mention of a UCF player on there, Ben?
No, I don't see any UCF players on there.
But UCF did beat the quarterback from Memphis, so they beat a Heisman level quarterback.
So does that mean that they're the Heisman Trophy winner?
They will, through their logic, probably want to take a shot at it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
My big takeaway from the game, though, guys, is it seemed like it was less about the score and the stats and the actual football being played, and it felt like that the referees were under a microscope. Like it felt like the game itself was almost an afterthought between the calls and the drama and all of that kind of stuff. It didn't even really feel. It's like, okay, yeah, Alabama's going to win, so we're going to talk about everything else that's happening other than the fact that Alabama is winning.
Yeah,
there's just so many other side stories that came out of that game. I couldn't believe it.
So that brings into mind the second thing I was going to say. There's the good, there's the bad, and then there's the ugly. The refs are going to be the bad. 7 penalties for 50 yards for Mississippi State. We can argue that 15 of those penalties, or 15 of those yards, was phantom. That block in the back was not a block in the back. I there's no way I can justify that call.
I think you can, Dave. I don't want to interrupt you. I think you can a little bit, though. The position that official had, it would have looked from his position like he had his arms extended and then he pulled back and didn't touch him. But right after he did that, the guy tripped. I mean, from his perspective, it probably looked a lot like it.
But are we talking perspective here, or are we going to talk how you should referee a game? Because
I'm talking about if I'm standing at field level at full speed and I see the right combination of events happen in front of me, I don't have any other information or camera angles to go off of. So I agree it was a horrible call. But again, if Devin White wasn't called for targeting and left out of the Alabama game, nobody would even be talking about that penalty right now. But that Devin White thing launched a whole Alabama bias conversation that we're still having today. I think it would have been an irritating factor for State fans, but I don't think we'd have all of the drama surrounding it that we did if that Devin White thing hadn't happened.
I think the Devin White thing kind of escalated things, but whenever a team is doing really well and they're dominating everybody, people want to start making excuses because they don't believe that team could be that good. And if this was a team, and if this was Alabama's first year of being this good, I might be okay with it. But Saban has established this over years of being the dominant team in the SEC. And it's like suddenly this year people are surprised by it and they've got to make excuses. Have you seen Tua? Have you seen Quinnen? These are talented guys. These are talented offenses and defenses. They're winning. Now, granted, some of those calls were terrible on Saturday.
Yes.
I hate to say it because Gary Danielson talked about it nonstop. That was a fumble. Damian Harris fumbled the ball. And the main office, the SEC office, didn't buzz down to the field. Alabama wasn't in hurry up. There was plenty of time to go in and review that play. Why was that play not called for review? And I know I'm speaking to the world through crimson-colored glasses, and the fact that I'm bringing this up is shocking. But why was that play not called for review?
Probably should have been.
Yeah, it should have been. And then you throw on there, Alabama has 0 penalties for 0 yards. So there's some fuel for the fire here. So much fuel that Mississippi State's athletic director went to Birmingham this week and has basically put this game on protest.
Good, because then he can ask them why they didn't call for the low shot on Tua.
Right. Now we're getting into the ugly. So after the game on Saturday, I probably let my emotions get the better of me. And a very good family friend of mine is a Mississippi State grad. And he posted something about, good win. I know that we couldn't, or good loss. I know we couldn't beat them in their place, blah, 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 all the penalties, blah, 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 the referees, blah. And then I said something to the effect of, your JA of a coach teaches their JA players to go after my player's knee, which I had to apologize for later. But going back and watching the 2 hits that Tua took, where Mississippi State was definitely going for the knee. One of them, he was on the ground, and Mississippi State was actually twerking his knee, and that wasn't called. I don't think that's a penalty. That's, tweaking, spinning. You know what I'm talking about. But
that should have been flagged.
Definitely.
Somebody should have thrown a flag if he was twerking onto it.
I don't know if that's – I don't know if you can call a penalty. Maybe you can call unnecessary roughness on that.
Unnecessary roughness, celebration. There's so many different things.
Public indecency.
So, but then you go and watch the play that took Tua out of the game. One guy goes high. One guy becomes a missile at his right knee, and it's straight with a helmet. Targeting was not called. Unnecessary roughness wasn't called. Roughing the quarterback wasn't called. Roughing the passer wasn't called. Alabama got a lot of calls in this game. but the refs missed every opportunity to protect Tua in this game. So if Mississippi State's going to pull the crap of the refs are playing for Alabama, they've lost every bit of that argument for that right there. Am I wrong? I mean, I had somebody at my tailgate say, "Well, what do you expect them to do? How do you want them to tackle Tua? Form tackle him
according to the rules,
according to the rule book, right? In the NFL, all of those would have been unnecessary roughness going after the quarterback." And Saban alluded to that in his post-game presser.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason that they could give why it wasn't called is the statement by the NCAA when they passed that rule was that it specifically and this is a quote, specifically covers a scenario in which a quarterback is in a passing posture with one or both feet on the ground. In that situation, no defensive player rushing unabated can hit him forcibly at or below the knee. And it was a shot in his quad, and that's why he, quote, had a quad injury when he was done. I think that's the only justification they could give. Now, I am with you, Dave, that it was at the knee. They were obviously going for that, and he just went a little high. I mean, we've been called a number of times that I can think of in recent memory for this very same thing. Right. When it wasn't an unabated rush, he was blocked into it or ran into him by accident, something like that. This was obviously almost a targeting style hit.
It was straight with
anybody. He didn't have anybody around him making him do something he wasn't in control of himself for. So it should have been flagged for sure. But I don't agree with what do you expect him to do?
Right.
At all.
To me, it seemed like they were aiming for the knee just as much as they were in the LSU game, where there were several hits that appeared to be the exact same thing. They're diving at the knee. It is clear what the trajectory is. They're not heading for the hip and missing. They're not heading for the thigh and missing. They're headed for the knee. And it's not just any knee. It's the knee that's wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean, the game plan to beat Alabama is get Tua out of the game because Jalen's not Jalen. We've obviously seen that Jalen is not going to be the quarterback he was at the beginning of the season now. Oh. Mac is not Mac. I mean, Mac was not good going into this game. I don't know about you guys, but I expected more out of Mac Jones.
In what regard?
I expected him to be able to move the ball, but he looked like he was scared in the pocket.
Well, yeah, he just saw them diving at his teammate's knee. Well, he's a little leery, and he's trying to stay healthy because he's the last line of defense.
Baby Barker.
Baby Barker's not playing, Dave. I know you love Jay Barker, but Baby Barker is not Jay Barker. That's why we call him Baby Barker. Baby Barker's not playing. He's not getting in. He's not going on the field. So, look. If Mac Jones gets hurt, we're just running the Wildcat the rest of the way. We're snapping the ball to 8 and letting him get things done because he actually did. We had a couple of Wildcat formations that went really well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, guys, so I have to pose a question that's similar to a debate we had a couple of weeks ago. What do we do on Saturday against the Citadel? We have a banged-up Tua. We have a banged-up Jalen. We have Mac, who you're not impressed with, Dave, and I don't blame you so much for that. But do we just go in and let Mac get reps? And I know we're favored by 51.5 points, but do we take another 24-0 win as what it is and just get out healthy?
I mean – A reporter actually asked Nick Saban this very question, and Nick Saban basically gun slashed him, barrel blasted him, whatever the word is, and said, Tua's healthy. Tua's fine. We play Tua. I got news for you, Nick. I don't question you 99% of the time. Tua's not healthy.
I just picture that meme that's got that little dog in a hat with the room on fire around him and says it's fine. It's like, no. And you also said you probably felt comfortable with our kicking game as well.
49-yard field goal.
Hey, you know what? That was part of the good. We didn't mention that earlier.
That field goal solidified Nick Saban as the greatest coach of all time.
And then here he goes starting Tua against the Citadel and puts it right back into jeopardy.
Look, Western Carolina, Brody Kroll, 2003.
To paraphrase the great Chicago Cub Ernie Banks, it's a great day. Let's play Tua.
Oh dear Lord, no. The one thing that makes me comfortable playing Tua a little bit is something that linebacker Mac Wilson said on Twitter after the game. Said, "Why everybody aiming for Tua's knee? That's fine though. Tua a savage." And he lion-hearted. He'll get right back up. you just making it worse for your quarterback. 100 emoji, hashtag, we getting yo QB out of there. Mad angry face emoji.
I think that really says it all.
Yeah. I mean, we just play Tua.
Play Tua.
I mean, it is. I know that Citadel is not going to come in with that kind of thing on their mind of let's hurt their quarterback and then leave town, But I still wouldn't, personally.
No, not at all. Tua, I would play Tua for maybe probably three possessions. Then it'll be 21-0, and we just go home.
I would wrap him in bubble wrap and hang him on the wall, man.
Like the picture I posted on the Facebook
just
group?
like that picture. I would hang him on the wall. He can't even get down. Not even tempted for anybody to put him in the game. I don't see the benefit. We're going to win the game. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. If it's only to pad his stats, because I know we even talked that a few weeks ago for Heisman, then we got our eyes on the wrong prize. I say we do the safe thing 110%, but I don't get paid nearly as much as old St. Nick. So
it totally seems like a game where you would want to work on the running game, but you need to get Tua some reps. It doesn't help to just lay him out the whole time and not get him any work. I think it's also a question of how available is Jalen Hurts. Is his ankle going to be 100%? I think you could see Mac Jones play a significant part of this game just because he needs the work and he needs the experience.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
But I think if Jalen Hurts is available and Tua is available, you've got to play both of them.
I say I like your idea, Ben, of working on the run game because if you've watched any Auburn game the last couple of weeks, the way that Auburn is getting beat is on the ground. Georgia torched them. Texas A&M torched them. I think the way you beat Auburn is on the ground, and Alabama's got a stable of running backs that can beat Auburn. So
right now, I think there's a number of ways to beat Auburn. I think you can do it with a good run game. You can also do it throwing the ball down the field. Auburn's defense has got some talent on it, but I don't think Auburn's ready to play 4 quarters with a healthy Alabama team.
I don't think Auburn's ready to play with a not healthy Alabama team, but that's getting a week ahead. We have to think about the week coming into it. And one thing that I think that Alabama needs to work on is something that running back Josh Jacobs brought up. He said that after the second half, because it was probably Alabama was moving the ball very well on Mississippi State the first, third of the game. And then all of a sudden it seemed like Alabama couldn't move the ball. Part of that was Tua's knee. But then the other part of it is Josh Jacobs came on record and said they kind of caught on to what we were doing. Some plays they were calling, or on some of the plays, they were calling our plays out. So we just had to make adjustments to that. The defense was so they were slanted to the side we were running to the ball to. So once we made adjustments to that, we were fine. Jacobs says they were fine, but as Michael Casagrande pointed out, Alabama's offense struggled much of the night, while the first 2 drives, 156 yards and 14 points. Everything after that for the remaining 3 quarters, 146 yards and only 10 points. So does Alabama have a problem of truly tipping their hand?
I don't know that Alabama's tipping their hand. It seems like that would be something that a film room genius like Nick Saban wouldn't really allow his teams to do. I find it hard to believe that would be the case. What this makes me think of is the story from a couple of weeks ago where Ed Orgeron said after last year's game, someone actually handed him the Alabama scouting report on LSU. And he said he learned more about his team that way than he did from coaching his team. I'm starting to wonder if, I don't want to dabble in conspiracy theories, but I'm starting to wonder, is there someone who's intentionally tipping Alabama's hand?
Who could it be? Greg Sankey?
Yes, because the SEC office has it out for Alabama.
Obviously.
Dun, dun,
Urban Meyer.
dun.
I mean, Urban Meyer has an issue with everything else.
Could it be an unemployed wide receivers coach who once worked for Urban Meyer? Who has nothing to do but tweet all day?
But were they calling out the plays like that though when Mack had come in after Tua was injured?
No. It was just
when Tua was in. It did feel though like the play calling was really conservative on Saturday though. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a little more predictable than it has been in the past.
It seemed to me like the scouting report on Mississippi State was run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And it almost seemed like it was old school Alabama offense.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean, Mississippi State wasn't able to do much with the run.
Well, Mississippi State's best players are on their D-line. So it makes a little bit of sense to run the ball a significant part of the game because you want to wear those guys out.
That's true. Yeah. Very true.
And I think that was a big part of the game plan. Also, if you know Tua's not 100% coming into the game, it makes sense to take care of the quarterback a little bit that way.
It does make sense. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something that Alabama needs to look at or not, but something else that Alabama needs to look at, and this is the last football topic we'll talk about until we do our polls and picks, is Alabama had a visitor on campus this week, and it's a name that was linked to Alabama back in 2007 or 2006. One Richard Rodriguez was on campus. And some people are speculating that Nick Saban's home for rehabilitated coaches, or whatever you want to call it, might have a new room for Rich Rodriguez at Alabama. Could we finally see Rich Rodriguez in crimson?
At this point, Saban's just a collector, isn't he?
He is.
It's like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing, Adam.
Hey, you know what? It couldn't happen to a better guy.
But would Rich's wife be okay with finally coming to Tuscaloosa? Because wasn't it her problem and her big poofy hair that never liked Tuscaloosa to begin with?
Hey, look, the wife's not coming to Tuscaloosa on an offensive analyst salary. The offensive analyst only gets $30K. The wife ain't coming to Tuscaloosa. She's staying where she is. She's staying put.
I think the offensive analyst might get paid a little bit more. Remember, Butch Jones is just an intern.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That intern, his title is offensive analyst. Those analyst interns only get $30K. If you think Mike Loxley's going to go, are you going to hire Rich Rodriguez as an OC?
This could get into some conspiracy theories and some discussions here, but
hey, look, I'm just saying I'm not going to believe Rich Rodriguez is joining Saban's staff until I see the contract come off the fax machine.
Yeah, well, maybe they were just having lunch.
Who uses a fax machine anymore, Ben?
Ben does.
Well, that was the story on Rodriguez. He sent the contract in. It was on the fax. Just the fax, ma'am.
So here's my little conspiracy theory thought. So Maryland has a job opening, and Mike Loxley's name has been heavily linked to that. Another former offensive coordinator that needs rehabilitating has served his time, and next season, Alabama might get a freeze warning a little bit early.
No.
Just a thought.
Hugh Freeze is eligible to be a head coach now. Somebody's going to hire him as a head coach. Just you watch.
Okay.
I don't know if we have the right facilities and services for a man like Hugh Freeze.
Birmingham is right up the road.
That is true.
Oh, so this conversation will get nowhere. Let's move on. Hey, Adam, have you started training for your half marathon?
Of course I have, Dave. Have you?
Of course. I actually ran about 4 miles today. What's your mileage up to?
Oh, 2.
Now, I bet even with those 2 miles, you are using your Roo Sport pouch, aren't you?
I don't use anything else.
Good. Tell them about it, Adam.
Yep, I don't use anything else, Dave. Both Blair and I used to have the big running belt with the pouch and the water bottles and all that, and it's just especially on short runs. It's a double-edged thing, right? Because it's really super convenient when you're only running a mile or two, just getting kind of your maintenance runs in the middle of the week to just throw a Roost Sport with the magnets onto your waistband and go. But it's also nice when you have to do a long run to not have to worry about the belt riding up or falling off or getting loose or anything like that when you run. So it's perfect for any length. And that's the great thing about it is you're not supposed to use any different gear on mile 13 or the 13-mile run and on race day than you did when you started training. You need to stay consistent. And a Roost Sport's the perfect solution for the short runs, the long runs, and race day. So it helps carry you through the whole training plan.
Yeah, it does. I actually, today has been a horrible day weather-wise in Alabama. It's been cold, it's been wet, it's been rainy. I didn't want to run outside. I ran on a treadmill today. But even though I was running on a treadmill, I had my Roost Sport on. What are you laughing at, Adam?
Nothing. Go ahead. I'm not laughing at you.
Okay. But
Sorry.
I do that because the place I work, we have scan badges to get into the building and get into the gym. And I threw my badge into my Roost Sport pouch and didn't have to keep up with it. So there you go, Adam. I used it for a good purpose, not because I wanted to look like that geeky guy on a treadmill.
Oh, no, I would never say that. That's not. I promise I wasn't laughing at that. That awkwardness was brought to you by someone's text to me, not anything on the show.
Okay. And Ben is using his Roost Sport at music events and not races, which, Ben, have we talked you into doing a 5K at Disney next year?
Maybe if the weather is right, I will consider training for a 5K. I'm not. What if, the winter is definitely the off season, even in Florida, though.
What if we can talk you into a nice shiny Star Wars medal in April?
A Star Wars medal?
A Star Wars medal.
Ooh.
The shiny one's gonna have to be 10K or longer, though, Dave.
The 5K was shiny this year, wasn't it?
Was it shiny?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it was actually pretty cool. It was one of the Praetorian Guards.
Oh, nice. Oh, the red one.
Yeah, the red one. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
done.
I think done. We got Ben talked into it in 2000.
If I had a Star Wars medal, I would put it in my Roost Sport.
There you go. Hey, go to their website, www.theroostsport.com. Use the promo code SIDELINE30, all lowercase. And you too, Ben, can get 30% off your Roost Sport pouch.
There we go. I've got one, and I could always use another.
You can always use another for a 5K.
You can have situational Roost Sports.
You can.
Or double side saddle pockets.
I like it. Or color coordination. You could get two different colors, and whatever your outfit is.
There we go. Always,
I like it.
Always styling and profiling.
Woo!
Woo!
Okay, so with the Roost Sport, you don't have to use any buckles. To be an Alabama fan, according to Ben, you actually have to buckle up. After Alabama's performance this last weekend, I believe I have a new person in the unbuckled camp.
That would be me.
Do you care to say why, Adam?
I'll get into it through the course of the discussion. I don't want Ben to launch in too early. I've got to let him have some basketball discussion, and then I want to weave it in. Otherwise, he's just going to destroy me with facts.
Okay.
Adam knows. Adam knows. I've got my sheets stacked up. I've got all my facts. I've got all this information.
You got your what stacked up?
I got facts.
Your sheets?
I've got facts. Sheets of information.
Okay. So talk about this horrendous game on Sunday, Ben.
What's horrendous about it?
Oh.
Appalachian State.
38.5% from the field.
Yeah.
Alabama beat Appalachian State by a very nice score of 81-73.
Okay.
Appalachian State shot 60% from the field. They're a very good three-point shooting team. The highlight of the game, though, was 17-year-old Kyra Lewis. 17 years old, the second youngest player in NCAA basketball, pulling down 21 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Great night from Kyra Lewis. Also, really good showings from John Petty, Dante Hall, and Herb Jones, all scoring in double digits.
Okay, then why did it take so long to put them away?
Because Appalachian State shot 60% from the field. They're a really good three-point shooting team.
Okay. Who did they beat in their first game?
Let's see. Appalachian State played something like Mountain High College or something like that in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Barn burner. Great basketball school, right?
I'm not really familiar with that school.
Okay. And did they destroy them?
I really don't have the score there. Do you have the score?
No. I'm
That's what I thought. All right. So you wanted Alabama to beat Appalachian State by 30, and because Alabama didn't beat Appalachian State by 30, you're upset. Let's cut to the chase. That's what we've got.
That sounds like football logic.
Let's cut to the chase and say Appalachian State was beating Alabama for a lot of the game.
No, Alabama led most of the game, Dave. Appalachian State had the lead for a little bit in the second half, but Alabama had the lead for much of the game.
In the second half. This is a team that we should be putting away in the first half. This is not a come
This
on,
isn't
man.
football, Dave. How much basketball do you watch?
Ooh,
Every single game, Ben. Come on. You cannot sit here and tell me that this is a game that you thought, yes, we're going to win and it's going to be a nice, easy game. You can't sit here and tell me that thought didn't come through your mind.
No, I actually thought this was going to be challenging because Appalachian State's a really good three-point shooting team. They're currently.
You can't even say that with a straight face, man. Come on.
No, I'm laughing. I'm laughing at your logic is what I'm laughing at. Because if you look, again, I get it. We're only 2 games into the season, but Appalachian State is actually leading the country in three-point shooting percentage.
Whoop-de-frickin-do. Whoop-de-frickin-do. That just shows me that Alabama's defense is not near what it needs to be.
Alabama's defense is what helped control the game where Alabama could win. So, I just don't think you've watched a lot of basketball, Dave. That's all I got.
Wow.
Okay. Adam,
he's throwing down the gauntlet on you.
This
is why I didn't launch right in.
Adam, are you disappointed that the basketball team didn't play like the football team as well?
Oh,
is
no,
that why
not
you're
at
unbuckled?
all. I'm excited anytime our basketball team wins. But, Dave, this is exactly why I just didn't launch into it. I wanted to let you guys go ahead and get this out of the way before I started this.
Are your concerns the same as Dave's, or are they something else?
Mine actually revolve around basketball and not margin of victory.
Oh, yes, please. Don't.
So my concern, and you may tell me, Ben, as a basketball connoisseur, granted I don't analyze it and don't have the depth of knowledge you do on it, but my concern is that if you look at the field shooting alone, they outscored us from the floor 59-55. If we didn't make 26 out of 43 free throws, 43 attempts, we would not have won this ball game. Because if fouls to fouls would have been net, and they hadn't fouled us as many times as they had, they would have outscored us on the floor and won this game.
exactly.
I think you bring up free throws. I actually think that is worth highlighting just how atrocious Alabama was from the free throw line. I think Herbert Jones, Herb had 10 points on the game, and he easily could have had 20 on the night if he just hit his free throws, because Herb was 6 of 16 from the free throw line. 6 of 16. That's atrocious. That really is bad. Like you guys want to have something to complain about? Let's talk about Herb Jones' free throw shooting in that game.
Yeah.
Everybody else looked good. John Petty hit 7 of 10. Dante Hall hit 4 of 6, which is outstanding for Dante. Dazon Ingram came in there and hit 6 of 6 free throws. Alex Reese was 3 of 4.
But was it just they were fouling us at the wrong time? Because here's my point. They took 25 free throws and made 14. They were even more atrocious than we were from the free throw line, right? But we had 43 attempts. If we had only had 25 attempts like they had, and that one stat had been balanced, and I don't know, maybe it's not normally in basketball, Ben. That's where I look to your superior knowledge. If that stat had been balanced, we would have made 15 out of 25 if we shot 60%, and we would have lost the game by 3 points.
It's a conspiracy. The SEC refs were trying to make Alabama win.
Oh, that's it. Thank you, Dave.
That's what
that makes more sense.
It all had to do with Coleman Coliseum's proximity to the SEC office in Birmingham. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, look. The big reason why Alabama had 43 free throw attempts is because Alabama was a bigger, longer team. And so when you've got that, you get a lot of size mismatches. When you have those kind of mismatches with better athletes and better size, the smaller, less athletic guys are going to foul you more. So, of course, Alabama's going to get to the line more. The problem is they didn't shoot better, 60% from the line. Alabama went, I think, 70% or 68% from the line in their first game. I think if Alabama hits more free throws, this game is put away a lot sooner. That's frustrating. Also, Alabama missed a number of easy twos that should have gone in, just things right under the basket where it bounced the wrong way. So, yeah, is there room for improvement with this team? Absolutely. Is it good that this team handled adversity at home and faced that and did that before going to a tournament? I think that's where you want to face your first adversity is at home. Get past that. I'm not saying.
I thought you said this was an easy sweep up win before we get to the tournament. That was a direct quote from last week's podcast.
I'm pretty sure I've never used the word sweep up win, so okay. I'm confident that is not a direct quote.
I think layup win was your quote.
We're gonna have to go back to the tape because I don't remember calling this easy. I think I said I may have said it was easier competition, but you have a team that's a really good 3-point shooting team, and I think I even said in the last show that could pose problems for Alabama because that's where they've struggled. They play good defense, but there are still teams that shoot well from the 3-point line that are able to take advantage of Alabama's defense, and that's what we saw in this game.
So if this was an easier team, what happens when Alabama faces a tougher team?
Yeah, that was going to be my question: is what is 60% from the free throw line and 31% from 3-point land and 40% from the field? What does that get us for a season?
Well,
the CBA invitation.
I love the outstanding optimism. You definitely want to shoot better than Alabama did, especially from the free throw line. You'd like to be breaking 70 at least from free throws. But again, that was mostly Herbert being off. I think if you have him shoot better, I think there's a lot less to complain about. 31% from 3-point. You'd like to see that a little bit higher, but that was a pretty stark contrast. And overall, the whole field goal percentage could have been higher. So yeah, Bama could have hit some more shots. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, Appalachian State, if we want to talk about them being easy, they are easier than Purdue and Wichita State and Virginia Tech. If Alabama plays like they did against Appalachian State, against those three teams, which they have all the potential to do in the next few days in the Charleston Classic, Alabama's going to be in bad shape in this Charleston Classic tournament.
So let's go ahead and go through this Charleston Classic tournament, and let's pick it. Let's just go in and do it.
Yeah, this is a pretty complex bracket because there's no elimination from the tournament. You just keep moving to different parts of the bracket, so it looks like a giant circle. So you really want to win your first game. So Alabama's playing Northeastern. Yes, Northeastern is one of those teams that should be lesser competition than Virginia Tech, than Purdue, than Wichita State. But they also are a pretty good 3-point shooting team. So that can pose some problems. Still, there's a good potential for Alabama to come out on top there. Alabama's just got to play good basketball. But again, one poor performance does not a season make. So we're going to pick the winning sides of the bracket. So the first game up is Ball State versus Virginia Tech. Who's going to win this one?
I'll take Tech in this one. Tech is a good 3-point shooting team, like you said. I'll take Tech.
Yeah, I'll go with Tech too.
Yeah, I think you go with Virginia Tech there. The next game is Alabama versus Northeastern. Who do you guys like there?
I'll take Bama just because I don't know much about Northeastern, so I'll take Bama.
Do you know where Northeastern is?
Somewhere in the Northeast.
Dave using those context clues. I love it.
No, I don't.
I believe Northeastern is located in Boston.
Isn't their logo like black and red with a big N and like a red stripe or something like that through it?
No.
Yes.
Northeastern has a husky.
They do have a black and red N, though.
Okay.
In one of their things. You're right, Dave. I'm going to pick Bama on this one only because I'm a homer and I will retain a little bit of optimism, but I would not be surprised if we lost.
I'm going to roll with the tide, as you know I'm going to do. All right.
Shocker.
We'll get to the Shockers in a second. We'll get to them. We haven't picked them yet.
Oh.
Next up, the early evening game on Thursday, Purdue taking on familiar face Appalachian State.
I'm going to go with Purdue here. They've lost a lot. I know Appy State's a good team, but Purdue is going to win. And we all know that Appy State is not good competition. So I'm going to go with Purdue.
Yeah, I agree. This will be an easy layup win for Purdue.
I got to say, yeah, if Purdue's playing Appalachian State, surely Purdue will beat them by 65 points, right?
I mean, a good team would.
Yes, any good team would beat Appalachian State by 65 points because they are inferior competition in every way, shape, or form. Okay, so what's really going to happen is Purdue's going to win this game, probably about 15.
Oh, okay. So less than Alabama won by?
Purdue will win by a greater margin than Alabama won by. Because Alabama won by what, 8, 9?
8.
Oh, it was only 8. Oh, that's right.
Only won by 8. Purdue's going to win by 15.
Because we're not good.
Purdue's going to win by 15 because Alabama is not as good as Purdue.
Alabama is lesser competition.
The last game of the night, Wichita State taking on Davidson. Steph Curry's alma mater.
Steph Curry ain't coming on that floor. I'm going with the Wichita State and the Shockers.
Yeah. We're agreeing all the way down, man. Wichita State for sure.
Well, it's pretty standard to pick chalk in the first round of a tournament like this because there is an upper tier and a lower tier. One's Power 5 schools, one's not Power 5 schools. So, but now we get into the serious matchups, and so I think since we all picked chalk, the matchup we would be talking about would be Friday morning, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. Virginia Tech taking on Alabama in a rematch of the opening round of the NCAA tournament.
Virginia Tech got better. Alabama didn't. Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I'd love to say Alabama, but I can't. I'm too unbuckled. Virginia Tech.
You guys are unbuckled. I'm going to be optimistic that sometimes when you figure out the right coaching matchups, things start to go your way. You can see this with how Alabama's played against South Carolina. I think Avery Johnson has got Buzz figured out, and that is why Bama is going to beat Virginia Tech on Friday morning. All right, next up in the chalk picks, we've got Purdue taking on Wichita State. Who do you guys like in that matchup?
I'll take Wichita State here. Wichita State's a better team. Like I said in the last round, Purdue lost a lot of talent. I'm going to go Wichita State in this one.
I'm actually going to boiler up and pick Purdue in this one.
All right.
I like where your head's at, Adam. Wichita State's already dropped a game this season. I actually feel like this is going to be a difficult year for them, and they may actually be in over their heads in a few cases. I'm going to go with Purdue. All right, so that puts us into a championship game on Sunday night. I've got Alabama playing Purdue, but you guys have other matchups. You guys are unbuckled, so you both have Virginia Tech, and Adam, you've got Virginia Tech playing Purdue. Dave, yes. You've got Virginia Tech playing Wichita State.
I've got Alabama losing to the champions. I'll take Virginia Tech here.
I'm actually going to go with Purdue all the way and have them winning.
So Adam's got Purdue beating Virginia Tech. I've got Purdue facing off against Alabama, and Alabama has never beaten Purdue in recent years. I feel like the last 3 times Alabama's played Purdue, they've lost all of them. It's a different scenario now. I have cause to be optimistic about this team, but I'm not sure Alabama is going to hang with Purdue in this case. So I'm going to go with Purdue here to win the Charleston Classic. There we go. I actually picked against Alabama. I proved I can do it.
Logic wins out.
Logic wins out. Finally.
So the great thing about you guys picking Alabama to beat Northeastern is that means that they will at worst place fall to the third place game in your predictions. So Bama would play in the third place game, and if they win, they'd be third place. If they lose, they'd be fourth place. I think that's really important.
Out of how many teams?
Yeah, they'd be fourth place in this. If Chalk wins in the first round and Alabama comes in fourth, that would be in the realm of possibility. What you don't want to do is finish behind the other teams, behind Ball State, behind Appalachian State, behind
Which
Davidson,
could happen.
behind Northeastern. Yeah, it's a tournament. Anything can happen. Any of these teams could beat any of these teams on any given day.
If Alabama falls on Thursday, you best believe your phone's going to be blowing up.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will.
As will Avery's.
It's going to be atrocious. But yeah, you really want to win that first game before you start playing the Power 5 teams. I think it would be outstanding for Alabama to win all 3 of their games. I think it is more likely that Alabama wins 1 or 2 of their games. What you definitely don't want to have happen is go 0-3.
Yeah, that's what would not be good.
So yeah, if you lose all 3, this season's going to get out of hand fast.
Like the scrimmage did a couple of weeks ago?
I don't think this will be like that scrimmage.
You mean getting out of hand fast?
I don't think we know. I haven't seen the pacing on that game. I'm not sure when that game was out of hand, Dave.
I've seen the box score, haven't you?
I've seen the box score. I'm not sure at what point in the game Alabama was down though.
Okay, well, let's just get off of the topic.
Sometimes teams get their separation in the second half. That's the way most college basketball games go. But you wouldn't know that because you don't watch a lot of college basketball.
Oh my gosh, I watch just as much Alabama basketball as you do, Ben.
Is that?
I think he said college basketball.
I've watched 2 games in a Pete Maravich documentary while we filmed this while we recorded this show. So I don't know what you're up to, Dave.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm watching wrestling.
Exactly, that's my point. All right, that's the hoops talk. I think it's time to get on to polls and picks.
It is. We'll do the polls first. And then we're going to slide in Kyle's key stat of the week before we do the picks so we can have some clear heads to do our picks. So, gentlemen, the polls have actually been announced 3 hours ago from when we recorded the show. The polls were announced. The only major change in the top 10, top 11 of the polls is UCF is now the highest ranked non-Power 5 team. Some would say Power 6 team. No team has ever been ranked above 12. They are now 11. Is there a scenario where you could put UCF in the top 4?
Not without mass chaos ensuing. I mean, in my book, UCF should be 10 because LSU should be out of this by now.
I agree.
The fact that they're still 7, I don't understand how a 2-loss team is. I mean, Georgia's got to play Alabama. Do you drop Georgia below LSU?
No.
Michigan plays Ohio State. What 2-loss goes there? I think every 2-loss should be out of this. I think UCF has to be 10, but to jump 6 more teams to make it in the top 4, there's a lot that's going to have to happen for that to even be in the realm of possibility.
I don't think UCF's a better team than LSU. So yeah, I think LSU should be ranked ahead of them. I get record should matter, but record shouldn't be everything. If you think LSU's record should keep them out of the top 10, then UCF's record should put them in the top 4.
So LSU, if mass chaos ensued, LSU should be in the playoff far before UCF with 2 losses. You're going to have a 2-loss team in the playoff before you'd have an undefeated mid-major?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You'd want a 2-loss team in there.
That you're just asking for the entire city of Orlando to camp themselves right outside the committee's office and not leave until.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking for. I want mass chaos. I don't think you guys understand.
We have theme parks to run, man. We don't have time for that kind of dog and cats living together. Kind of stuff.
I want riots in the street. I want cars set on fire. I want all of those things. My dream scenario is everybody that's outside of Alabama and Clemson loses 2 or 3 more games. So that way UCF is undefeated and everybody else has 2 or 3 losses, and then UCF still doesn't get in the top 4. That is a dream scenario.
I'm sorry, but my dream scenario is UCF being at number 4 and Alabama being at number 1.
I agree.
Hey, Dan White.
And all 12 UCF fans that realize game day is an actual show that's filmed on television and show up on Saturday, you will hear their voice on Saturday begging for that
12?
same thing.
You're being kind, Adam.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it's not finals week, so there'll at least be 12.
Okay.
So I think we agree for the most part on 1 to 4. We may want to shift around, but we'd put Bama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Michigan in there. We can generally agree with that, right?
Hold up.
I disagree.
We got a head shaker.
I don't put Clemson up there, guys. I know they're undefeated, but I really do think that Clemson's schedule suffers from the we haven't played anybody syndrome. I would say that Georgia, if LSU's really number 7 and Georgia's only losses to them, I honestly think that you would slide Georgia up to the number 4 and you'd have Clemson on the outside looking in potentially. I still don't think that they've earned their way. If the only reason they're up there is that they're undefeated, then I think you have UCF sitting there saying the same thing.
931-44 blitz. Everybody, that number is 931-44 blitz.
So tell me who is the quality win on Clemson's bracket?
Well, they're going to have
Louisville.
They're going to have a quality
Georgia
win.
Southern, Georgia Tech, Syracuse. I guess you could say Syracuse.
Syracuse. You could say
NC
Boston
State's
College
fallen
now.
from grace. Furman.
But it's not going to be a fallen from grace. It's going to be where were they when they played them. NC State was undefeated. I would say you got NC State's a quality win. You've got Boston College as a quality win. You've got Syracuse as a quality win. I'd put Clemson at 2. I'd put Alabama at 1. I'd put Notre Dame at 3. I would put Michigan at 4.
And don't forget the ACC championship game where Clemson's going to play Pitt.
Oh, man.
Or
UCF beat.
Pitt,
and
the
now
destroyer.
UCF is using that as a claim to fame, too.
Wait. Or will they play somebody else? I believe we have Kyle's key stat of the week to talk about that very topic, Ben.
Hey guys, this is Kyle Gilbert, the golden voice of the Southwest, calling from Frisco, Texas, with today's key stat. As everyone here knows, the number 6 is a magical number in college football. With your 6th win, you become bowl eligible. And that used to be good enough for some teams, but not in the Big Ten. Your 6th win can guarantee you a spot in the conference championship game. Don't believe me? Just ask Northwestern, who just beat Iowa to earn their 6th victory of the season, earning the right to go get pummeled by either Michigan or Ohio State in the first weekend of December. But don't take Northwestern's word for it. The same thing happened way back in 2012 when Georgia Tech beat Duke to win their division and earn a spot to go get beat by Florida State in their conference championship game with their 6th win of the season. It's not something that happens very often, but when it does, you can bet it's going to be in the Big Ten or in the ACC because, well, it's the Big Ten and it's the ACC. So hats off to all you teams that have your 6th win, your bowl eligibility, and may it come with the right to go get beat by a way overmatched team in your conference championship game the first week in December. Have a great week, guys. Roll Tide.
There you go, Ben. Kyle's key stat of the way to 6.
That's a pretty solid stat.
I mean,
and also huge kudos to him bringing out the stat of the week last week for UAB, and now UAB's in the top 25.
Yep.
Not in the one that matters.
Yeah, but they're in the top 25. And how often is UAB in the top 25? Let's celebrate that. Kyle's key stat of the week is a great predictor of what is to come in the college football world. That's what I'm saying. So kudos to Kyle. Why are you trying to take away from Kyle? It's like you're almost unbuckled from Kyle's key stat of the week.
Come on, man. Look, Kyle's
wish,
a friend. I'm not. Come on.
You wanted Kyle's key stat of the week to beat Appalachian State by more than 8 points. That's what I'm hearing. Like you wanted Kyle's key stat of the week to hit more free throws and shoot better from 3. But guess what? It was a great stat and it got the job done. And UAB's in the top 25. So once again,
Kyle hear the text coming through.
Once again, Kyle has brought another great stat. And it is absolutely insane that a 6-win team could wind up playing for a conference championship. But here we are. That's the world we live in. That's what's happening in the Big Ten, and it might be happening in the ACC.
It might. So there you go. Wow. Kyle, I apologize. That is not what that's not what it was supposed to sound like. All right, so there's the polls. There's Kyle's key stat of the week. There's Ben getting me in trouble again. Bring the picks. Adam, tell him how far in the lead you are.
Oh, I love this part of the show. So right now, Ben has 161 correct picks. Dave has 166. And I have 171. So Ben's made up some ground on second place, but I, unfortunately for Dave, have distanced myself a little bit. But that could change any given Saturday, guys.
All right. So let's see if I can gain some ground here. Come on, bring them.
All right, let's get going with the picks. First up, number 25, Boise State taking on New Mexico. Yes, you have to pick this.
So let's wait. I thought you said UAB was number 25, Ben.
Come on, Dave. Quit trying to bring the Blazers down. It's like you're part of a conspiracy.
Give me Boise State to stay number 25 and keep UAB out.
Yep, I agree. Boise State.
I will take the Broncos on the road at New Mexico. All right, number 10, Ohio State taking on Maryland in the battle of schools that should have fired their coaches sooner.
I'll take Ohio State just because Maryland is in a tailspin.
Yeah, this one won't be close. Ohio State.
Ohio State keeps underachieving, and Maryland keeps having these bursts of emotion where they actually wind up being surprisingly successful in big games. I'm going to take the Terps at home. Let's go Maryland.
Wow. That's how third place is built, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how third place is built. Number 14, Penn State taking on Rutgers. Rutgers is 1-9. Can they get their second win?
Rutgers is a dumpster fire. Give me Penn State.
Yeah, the Nittany Lions all the way.
I'll take the Nittany Lions as well. Number 22, Northwestern, as seen in Kyle's key stat of the week, 6-4 on the season, taking on Minnesota Golden Gophers, who are 5-5. Is Minnesota going to row the boat this week?
Can we just sit here for a second and realize that a number 24 team is only 6 wins? That's atrocious. Give me Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern. I'm telling you guys, we're just a couple of weeks of chaos away from UCF being in there if we can have this kind of stuff going on.
You know what? Northwestern is atrocious. I completely agree with you, Dave. And in my rooting for chaos, I think the Gophers need to get this big win. I'm going to take Minnesota at home.
Wow.
Speechless. Middle Tennessee, 7-3 on the season, taking on number 17 Kentucky. Now 7-3 on the season. Oh wait, that's an SEC game. We'll save
that's
that
SEC.
Later.
Come on,
we'll save that for later. We'll save that for later. Sorry, I got so excited about seeing Kentucky still ranked. All right, here we go. Here's one that's not SEC. Number 19 Utah taking on Colorado.
Colorado was once a mighty team. How the mighty have fallen. Utah.
Yeah, I'm picking Utah on this one too.
Colorado was never that good. Utah getting the win on the road. Now, another team from Utah we need to be talking about, number 23, Utah State, is 9-1 on the season. They're taking on the Colorado State Rams. What's going to happen here?
Utah State wins this one.
Yeah, Utah State.
I think I read Utah State is averaging something like 50 points a game. It's absurd. Got to go with the Aggies there. They need some more respect. All right, here's an interesting game. Number 12, Syracuse, taking on number 3, Notre Dame. Could this be a trap for the Fighting Irish?
It's not a trap. It's a downright tailspin. Go Orange.
Is that an official pick?
That is an official pick.
Wow. Yeah, I'm tempted to do that too. I don't think this is a year where we're going to see Notre Dame follow their typical pattern, though. I think they're going to go and run the table this year, so I've got Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Irish at home. Home field advantage goes a long way. Number 20, Boston College, coming off of a loss to Clemson, taking on Florida State, who are 4-6 on the season.
I'm tempted because Boston College lost a lot of their players against Clemson. Where's this game being held?
It's in Tallahassee.
Taggart gets a signature win. Florida State.
Those words don't even belong in the same sentence, so I'm picking Boston College.
Yeah, I gotta go with BC, picking up a road win. All right, number 9, West Virginia, 8-1 on the season, taking on Oklahoma State, coming off of a tough loss in Bedlam. They're 5-5. Some people think West Virginia needs to be in the conversation for the playoff. Are they going to still be after this game?
Once West Virginia wins out, they will be. West Virginia wins this one and shows that that they are a better team than Oklahoma.
Yeah, I got West Virginia too.
I will take the Mountaineers on the road. No, forget it. I'm taking Oklahoma State at home. Gundy and the Fighting Mullets are going to get the job done and take West Virginia off the table. Let's go Cowboys.
Wow.
Okay.
That's an upset special. That's an upset special.
In the words of Mike Gundy.
Ben's going to play that hokey pokey.
There we go. All right, Indiana, the Hoosiers are 5-5. They're on the road at number 4, Michigan.
Michigan.
I can't wait to hear Tim Brando talk about Michigan's cupcake schedule this week in the Big Ten.
You also
no, he won't. Michigan.
You won't get to see him tweet about it.
I know, and I'm so sad. Neither me or my fake Twitter account that I created.
Or the Sideline Warning Twitter. Why did you get us blocked? Come on.
Hey, look, man, when I go all in. If you really care what he has to say anyway, then maybe we shouldn't have a Twitter handle to begin with.
All right, I'll pick the Wolverines as well. Staying out of this.
I expected that one to be an upset special, man.
I did too.
Not picking the Hoosiers over the Wolverines. Oregon State, 2-8 on the season, taking on number 18, Washington.
Washington. This is horrible. I hate Cupcake Week.
Yeah, I can't wait for Tim Brando to talk about the cupcake schedule that Washington has this week in the Pac-12. Oh, never mind. He won't because they're not in the SEC. I pick Washington.
I will take the Huskies as well. All right, Duke taking on Clemson. Clemson, number 2 in the country, 10-0 on the season. Duke, they're 7-3. It's a pretty good Duke team.
Stop. Just stop.
It's a pretty good Duke team.
Clemson. All right, next pick. Let's go.
There you have it. We're all taking Clemson. All right. Kansas, 3-7 in the season, trying to lose out to win the Les Miles lottery, taking on number 6 Oklahoma, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. What's going to happen here?
Oklahoma. All right, who's next?
Great. Dave didn't want to hear. Hey,
wait. Hang on now, Dave. I can't wait for Tim Brando to talk about the cupcake schedule this week in the Big 12 with Oklahoma. Oh, wait, he won't. They're not in the SEC. I pick Oklahoma there. I just had to say it.
All right. Something that does not involve cupcakes is a top 25 matchup. In fact, a top 16 matchup. Iowa State, number 16 in the land, taking on number 15 Texas in Austin. What's going to happen here, guys?
Texas. How is Iowa State ranked?
Big wins over West Virginia and playing pretty well in the Big 12. They might be the third best team in the conference.
Texas.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Longhorns here too, even though they're only favored by 3, so might be a coin toss.
I'm in third place. I'm making up all kinds of ground this week. I'm taking the Cyclones. Let's go Clones. I'm taking them on the road. They are well coached, and they're going to get the win here. All right, another top 25 matchup. Just proving the strength of schedule here. Number 24 Cincinnati versus number 11 UCF, the undefeated reigning national champions. Will a victory over the number 24 team in the land help improve Central Florida's playoff resume?
I'm going to go ahead and call my shot. Central Florida wins this game, but then they lose the battle for I-4.
The war for
Wow.
I-4?
The war on I-4.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go with Cincinnati on this one. I'm feeling bullish. UCF seems to have struggled the last couple of weeks. I think it's going to catch up with them this time. So Cincinnati.
Oh, you guys split. There's no way for me to gain ground on both of you by doing something here. You know what? They're the reigning national champions for a reason. I'm going to take the Knights at home.
I just have to say there's no way they're going to make it under the bright lights of a primetime ABC game.
Is Brando going to say anything about UCF's cupcake schedule?
I don't know.
24 wouldn't be a cupcake, though. They actually have a number in front of their name, so I think he'd probably be okay with that one.
Next up, Pac-12 After Dark. Arizona 5-5 on the season. Khalil Tate's healthy now. Is that going to make a difference where they could upset number 8 Washington State in Pullman?
Washington State's the Pac-12's only hope. Washington State.
Yep. I've got the Cougars on this one as well.
I will go with Wazoo as well here, but I'm a little worried Arizona might actually be able to make this game interesting. All right, those are your top 25 picks. Let's get to those SEC games. I previously mentioned
it's gonna be so bad.
Middle Tennessee 7-3 taking on number 17 Kentucky 7-3.
Kentucky better get their act together because MTSU is not a bad team, but Kentucky wins this barely.
Yeah, I think they find a way to make a couple of big plays that make the difference, and Kentucky pulls it out.
Got to go with Benny and the Cats. All right, Arkansas 2-8 on the season, taking on number 21 Mississippi State, who you guys hate dearly. Who's going to win this game?
That stupid high school gym teacher with his smug look on Mississippi State's page will win this game by dirty play.
Hey, don't you steal my description of this guy. You guys liked Joe Moorhead until this last week.
I still
I'm
like
the
Joe
one
Moorhead.
that said he was a high school science teacher. Don't you take my line, Dave Adams. And you're lucky I didn't call you by your Christian name. Mississippi State will win this game, but that guy is a smug jerk. I do agree.
All right, Idaho, the Vandal. Oh,
Hey,
I forgot. There was so much arguing about who was stealing each other's thunder. I forgot to even bring my own thunder. Gonna take the Bulldogs at home, staying in the top 25. Thunder. I love Joe Moorhead. He's a great coach, and he's taken Mississippi State in the right direction. All right,
in a dirty direction.
Whatever. Idaho taking on number 13 Florida. The Gators going to make a move for the top 10? Florida's a 40-point favorite in this game.
Yeah, Florida wins, even though there's a power struggle at Florida. Dan Mullen against Felipe Franks. Florida, you can't mess this up.
Florida shall vandalize Idaho.
I will take the Gators. All right, here's an actual interesting matchup. Mizzou 6-4 on the season, taking on Tennessee, who's 5-5 after an upset win over Kentucky. Does Tennessee finally have things clicking? Is the Jeremy Pruitt era taking off?
Tennessee wins, becomes bowl eligible.
Wow, you are getting soft on them. I'm picking Mizzou.
I'm going to go with the Volunteers here. They're going to play a physical game, and they're going to out-physical Mizzou. I'm going to go with them.
My two co-hosts are Tennessee apologists. I can't believe this.
That's what's happening. That's what we're doing when they're playing Mizzou, when they got the home field advantage. I'm going to go with Tennessee. All right, next up, Massachusetts. The Minutemen, 4-7 on the season, taking on number 5 Georgia, trying to find their way into the playoff. Who's in?
What's the UMass's mascot?
The Minutemen.
That's about how long they'll be in this game. About a minute.
Man.
Georgia blows them out.
Yeah, the Bulldogs. I mean,
yes, got to take the Dogs there. All right, Liberty 4-5 on the season, taking on Auburn, who's 6-4 on the season. Auburn's a 28-point favorite. Surely Auburn wins, right?
Give me Liberty or give me death. It's what I would say if I was going to pick Liberty. But I think Auburn wins this one.
Yeah, I agree. Auburn's got this one covered.
Yeah, I think
you wanted to say it so bad, didn't you?
No, I was going to go Liberty. I'm not singing it.
I think if a couple of other games earlier in the season had not gone Auburn's way and they were looking at a worse record and a stronger mutiny from the players, I would have been very tempted to pick Liberty despite their losing record. But Auburn's done just enough to make me think that Auburn's going to get their 7th win this weekend. I'll take the Tigers. All right, UAB. That's right, the Blazers, 9-1 on the season, number 25 in at least one poll, taking on Texas A&M, who are 6-4. This game's in College Station. Can the Blazers do the unthinkable and get a win in the SEC?
I had Boise winning to stay at number 25. I've got UAB losing to drop out of the AP poll top 25.
Yeah, they should enjoy it for as long as they can because it's going to be over this weekend. I've got Texas A&M.
Do I have room for another upset special? Of course I do. We're making room before Thanksgiving. Give me the Blazers. The Blazers are going to bring down Jimbo. Give it to me. All right. Chattanooga, the Mocs, 6-4 on the season, have more wins than South Carolina, who's 5-4. Can Chattanooga upset South Carolina in Columbia?
Terrell Owens and Gordon Darnell will not be walking through that door. For those of you who don't know, Gordon Darnell was my grandfather, played quarterback at UTC. Had to shout that out there.
Whoa.
Yeah, South Carolina will win, though.
Yeah, I've got the Gamecocks.
I think I will pick South Carolina as well. Hey, how about two SEC teams playing each other? Ole Miss taking on Vandy. Who's going to out-ugly the other one in this game?
Y'all know I really like Jordan Ta'amu. I got Ole Miss winning this one in a big game.
Yeah, as much as I think Vanderbilt's going to put up a fight, I think Ole Miss will end up. I think Ta'amu, I agree with you, Dave. I think he'll be the difference. So Ole Miss will win.
I'm in third place. I'm trying to make up some ground. That means I should go with Vandy right here. But I can't. I'm going to hang with you guys and pick Ole Miss to get the road win. All right. Rice. The Owls are 1-10 on the season. They're traveling to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. Surely we're all picking the Tigers here, right?
LSU.
Hold that tiger.
Yeah,
Come on, Ben. It's your turn.
Oh, Cookie Monster love cookies.
C is for cookie. That's good enough for me.
I like rice, too.
But not enough to pick it. I'll pick cookie. So, I think, there we go, LSU. All right.
Tell them about it, JoJo.
One game left to pick. That's Citadel, 4-5 on the season, traveling to Tuscaloosa for a brunch, an 11 a.m. kickoff against the number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Guys, in some betting lines, this game is off. In other betting lines, it is 51.5. On the list I'm currently looking at, Alabama is a 51-point favorite. And quite honestly, I think it may be hard to beat the Citadel by 51 if you don't play Tua and Jalen. So, guys, what's going to happen in this game? And tell me how Alabama is going to do relative to a spread of 51 points.
Tua plays probably 3 possessions. Alabama rolls, but we do not cover the spread. I've got Alabama winning this one by a score of 51-14. Citadel runs a hurry-up triple option offense that Alabama's not used to seeing. 51-14.
Yeah. I don't think we'll get to 51, though. I think we'll accelerate really quick out of the gate, score a few times, put 2 on the bench, and then slow down from there and take our foot off the gas. We're going to have to stay in a little bit longer. I'm with you, Dave. We're not going to be able to throw in too much of our second and third string on defense, or they're going to be able to score. So I've got 38-17.
38-17, that close of a game?
Yes.
You guys, Dave called it no score November earlier, and I think that's going to be the case here. I think Citadel is going to be able to move the ball, but the defense is not going to let them in that end zone. And with that said, I think Alabama's going to play a good offensive game. Tua's going to get some reps. Jalen's going to get some reps if his ankle feels good, and Mac Jones is going to get some reps. But most importantly, all of the running backs, and I mean all. We're going to use 5 running backs in this game. They're going to get a ton of reps, and I think Alabama wins this convincingly, maintaining no score November. I'm going to go with Alabama 63-0.
Wow. All right.
Beating the spread.
There's your polls. There's your Kyle's Key Stat of the Week. There's Ben throwing Dave under the bus. There's your picks. It's now time for Ben to bring his sideline warning.
We have packed this show full of football and basketball and all kinds of goodies, but even though it's the weather is cold, I think it's like 40 degrees outside right now. I'm thinking very warm thoughts about one Ronald Acuna, the Rookie of the Year. The Sporting News named him Rookie of the Year a couple of weeks ago. This week in the Baseball Awards, he was formally announced as MLB's Rookie of the Year. So conclusively determining he is the Rookie of the Year, not Soto, not anybody else, not Walker Buehler. Just huge congrats. I hope this is an amazing sign of things to come, and I am looking forward to many more home runs and many records being set, and potentially some World Series being won as well. So thank you, Ronald Acuna, for a great season. Thank you for sparking the Braves and being an amazing leadoff hitter, a great home run hitter, and just a fun guy to watch on TV, screwing around with your brother or your buddy, Ozzie Albies. I'm looking forward to more antics in the dugout, too. So what a great season. Congratulations, Ronald Acuna.
I couldn't have said any better. Adam, what you got? Take a break. Stop recording. Adam, you're on mute.
Yeah, I know. So I was going to go into something and launch into the rankings, but we already kind of talked that around LSU being way too high, that kind of stuff. We went there already, so I'm going to just do a quick one and just ask everybody to just take a step back with Ohio State. And I don't know whether or not Brett McMurphy's newest allegations that he's thrown out there against Urban Meyer and Zach Smith are true, but this is starting to turn into a circus. And it either has to be that where there's smoke, there's fire, and something needs to happen and a change needs to be made, or Brett McMurphy needs to vet out some of his stories a little bit further. But either way, this is turning into something that is not good for college football overall either way. So I think that it's time for someone to be a objective voice of reason in this and cut to the chase and figure out exactly what's going on here and put an end to this kind of stuff just to move this out of the way. I'm especially concerned. We joked about it earlier, but if Urban Meyer does leave Ohio State, there's talk that he would go to the Dallas Cowboys. That is something that's been discussed before. I have a lot of concern about that because this type of stuff continues to pop up. And again, if it's where there's smoke, there's fire. I definitely don't want one of the teams that I'm a fan to have anything to do with this kind of stuff anymore. There's enough drama as it is already. But I feel like overall, someone's got to step in and just say, enough is enough. Let's figure this out. What's really going on here? And if it's Brett McMurphy needs to have his, I guess his public image is going to take a hit from whatever is happening there. And if he needs to no longer be in this space, that's fine. If Urban Meyer has allowed stuff like this to go on, because this is the same kind of unacceptable behavior, if it's true, with racially motivated type stuff that with the allegations of abuse that they were talking about before. So either way, someone's going to have to just go ahead and fish and cut bait here and knock this out for the betterment, I think, of college football, for the players and for everybody that's involved in these types of stories going forward.
Couldn't have said any better, Adam. I agree. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I think that Urban Meyer is on his last leg, and I think that Ohio State kind of sees that. I do think that Urban Meyer is gone at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I am going to go with mine, and I'm going to kind of mirror Ben's. We're recording on a Tuesday night, just hours before we start recording. Another award was handed down to an Atlanta Brave. Manager of the Year, Brian Snitker. Congratulations to Snit. If you heard our baseball preview show at the beginning of the season, I was calling for Snit to be fired. Guys, you're going to hear something that you don't hear often. Dave making 2 apologies in one show. Brian Snitker, I apologize. I was wrong. You are the correct man to lead the Braves into this next generation. There are only 2 managers now in the Atlanta Braves organization to win Manager of the Year. We know who one is because of who won it today. and we know who number 2 is. Anytime you can have your name mentioned with the greatest manager in organizational history, in National League history. I know you're giving me that side eye, Ben. Sparky Anderson is more known for his American League. You can't. I would say Bobby Cox is up there with the greatest National League manager, wouldn't you now?
Oh, he's definitely up there, and I adore Bobby Cox, but to say he's conclusively the greatest.
What other manager took their team to the pennants 14 straight years?
Yeah, nobody else did that, but he also only got 1 World Series. Thought we liked winners around here, Dave. I thought we liked teams that could beat Appalachian State by more than 8.
We do, and the Braves could easily have beat Appalachian State by more than 8.
Back to your point about Snitker. What do you got?
But anyway, Snit, thank you for what you have done for the Braves. You helped these guys when they were in the minor league system. You know how to coach them. I appreciate what you've done for them in the major leagues. Keep doing it. Let's go win one next year. Let's do what Bobby Cox only did once in his career and win the World Series. There you go. That's it. That's what I got.
Tremendous year for Snitker. I love it. I completely agree with you there. And it's also amazing, like when all these teams are trying to go super young on their managers, and they want to get guys that have played in the past couple of seasons, get guys in their late 30s, early 40s. Snitker's like 65. He's like older than Nick Saban. And boom, the old guy got the job done. I love it. So it's also a great testament for old guys. So that's pretty cool.
Old guys are great.
But also
darn right.
This show started with Dave admitting he was wrong about the football team's defense. It ends with him admitting he was wrong about Brian Snitker. I just can't wait until the episode where he admits he was wrong about the basketball team.
It won't happen because I'm not wrong.
There's a trend line. I mean,
time will tell.
There's more evidence than not that you're going to be wrong again.
Yeah, I like those incredible shooting percentages, Dave.
This basketball team is a failure, man.
That's what I wanted to hear. There we go.
All right, so Adam, if they want to get a hold of the show and say how much they love your new nickname, the phenomenal brother Adam Russell, how can they do that?
They can call 931-44-BLITZ, preferably not while we're recording, guys. That was unprecedented today that we got 2 voicemails like that at the start of the show. But 931-44-BLITZ, leave a voicemail with your questions, your takes. What I would actually challenge the audience to give us this week is some ideas for a game day sign on campus at UCF. What sign would you like to see on game day? I'm actually trying to work it out where I can be there for it. Still working on logistics and if it's going to happen. But what are your ideas? What would you like to see on a sign on national television?
Make sure it has to do with sideline warning.
Yes.
We want sideline warning to have some coverage on ESPN this week. And like Ben said, never mind, I'm not even going to say it. If we get on TV, what happens? Ben, you're not the Illuminati. Stop.
We will get money out of Dave's pants and give it to you. Because there's always money in the pants store. Was that how it goes?
Something like that. The pants store, that's actually a good store. I like the pants store.
Dave thinks I'm making Illuminati logos. What I'm really doing is making a triangle with my hands like a diamond cutter. There we go. I worked in a wrestling reference. Got a diamond cutter.
Your thumbs need to be a little bit down.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm making a triangle because it looks like our sideline warning logo. We want that sideline warning triangle, just like the podcast logo. We want that on your sign if you go to UCF.
And we want sideline warning prominent. Say, we love the golden voice of the Southeast. We love Hollywood. We love the phenomenal brother.
Actually, if you bring out a sign that says Dave was wrong, I will get you a lot of money out of Dave's pants.
Adam,
I'll go do that for free.
Get that smirk off your face.
Please, Adam, please show up with a sign that says Dave was wrong.
It has to have the sideline warning logo on it, though.
Every sign has 2 sides. It can be both at the same time.
But make sure the sideline warning is the one that's prominently.
Oh, yeah. When the camera angle's in the right position, it will flash to Dave is wrong. And then right back to sideline warning, just so everybody can see both.
Fine. If you want to get a hold of us on Twitter, we're at SW The Show. I am at DAdams419. Ben is at The Ben Foster. And Adam is blocked by Tim Brando.
But not from everybody in our wonderful audience.
Yeah. Adam is at Run Tide Run. Hey, and if you want to get blocked by Tim Brando, tweet at Tim Brando and tag SW The Show and tell him how bad of an analyst he is. That is our task of the week.
If you can't show up to game day with a sign saying Dave was wrong, please tweet at Tim Brando telling him he is wrong.
And get blocked. And then tweet something about sideline warning to him to get blocked. Let's start an underground war with Tim Brando and bring it above ground. All right. So we got the Blitz line. You got the Twitter. Instagram, we're at SW The Show as well.
For the record, Dave did not make a call to arms. That did not happen on this podcast. Dave just wants you to
arms.
Dave just wants you to tweet at Tim Brando.
All right. Instagram, we're also SW The Show. Facebook, facebook.com/SW The Show. Join our Facebook fan group. Just search for Sideline Warning fan group. Guys, we say it every week. It's Cupcake Week. Enjoy what could be an off week. We love you. We'll see you guys next week. Tweet at Tim Brando and roll Tide.
Let's do it,
get
gentlemen.
excited. Episode 50. We don't have a UCF guy to come on here, but you know.
Thank goodness.
I love watching you eat thin crust. It's magical.
Are we going to be eating on air?
What?
Are you going to
It gives it authenticity.
Yeah, it does.
It's called audio verite.
You need your glasses, baby?
Now I've got my glasses.
I said baby, not Ben.
Oh, I just thought you were. I just
thought he was
thought you were
being
being
nice.
affectionate. Yeah.
No.
Next thing you know, he's going to take money out of his pants.
I can't believe that's on the podcast.
That's amazing, isn't
I
it?
can't believe you cussed like you did last week.
I said and
Oh, got another outtake. Got another outtake.
I said and ass.